Gracie, 3 years old. And when's your birthday? August 9th. Aren't these people nice? And if they're not, they're going to hell.
Hi, Gracie!
Say bye. Bye. Okay. You can go right over here. Awesome. How are you guys? That's my granddaughter. My son lives and his beautiful wife live here in town. And it's good to be with you guys. How's it feel to be in the greatest nation in the United States? In the greatest state, Georgia, and the greatest city, Atlanta. It's an honor to be with you guys today. It really is. I've been an investor for a very, very, very long time. We're going to have a lot of fun today. There's a lot of great speakers. Les is a dear brother, a friend of mine. And a lot of you are here today to kind of figure out maybe a game plan. Is it fair to say that the country's a little messed up right now?
Oh, yes.
A little bit. But see, if you're not messed up, does it really matter? If you have a game plan that you can implement, chaos will actually fuel you. But a lot of you see chaos, you watch negative news, and it really bothers you, or you got to work really hard for your job, but your money doesn't work for you because you work for it. And we're taught to do a lot of crazy things that don't really matter anyway. So it's awesome to be with you. I don't care who wins the Final Four. It means nothing to me. Last night I was at the hotel down the street at the Hyatt, and I saw these Peckerwoods screaming at a television like the television could actually hear them. And they're drinking $7 beers, eating $15 wings, screaming at a TV. It just cracks me up, and I'm thinking if those Peckerwoods had that same amount of passion for themselves as they do the stupid TV, they might be able to change their life forever and always. But most people really don't have the passion in life. So it's good to be with you guys today. I want to cover a couple things for you. I've got to pick up my clicker. Hey guys, if you bring me a clicker, that'd be awesome. I don't have one. I'm trying to advance the screen here. Here's a couple things that all of you have to do. You've got to have a business. And a lot of us, we're trained to have a job. Thanks, buddy. And it says A. I like A. We're trained to have a life, but we're not trained how to make our life really work for us. And a lot of us, if you look at what just happened, if you have a business, you're able to do things that people aren't able to do ordinarily. And the biggest tax deductions that you can take is when you have a business. And a lot of us, it only takes 12 minutes to open a business in Georgia. If you're from Tennessee, it'll take you 11 minutes. Okay? It's not a big deal. And then all of a sudden, watch this, instead of buying your car and putting it in your name, you can let your company do it. And healthcare is a major issue in this country right now, is it not? I don't care if you're a Democrat or Republican, or you're libertarian, or you're just clueless. It means nothing to me. You need to have good health care. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
So why in the hell don't you open up a business and let your company get it for you? And then let your company buy your vehicles, and let your company give you a credit card so you can take business trips instead of vacations. And a lot of us, we're trained to do everything kind of backwards. And they don't teach this at UGA, and they don't teach it at Georgia Tech, or Florida, or FSU, or Bayou, or hose you, or spank you. They don't teach it. So it's really important for you to position yourself correctly so that you can actually write things off correctly. And then this is important. Real estate is door number one for wealth creation, but as soon as I say real estate, people think I'm talking about having a bunch of stupid rental houses. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you need multiple sources of income, so as you get older, things will work for you. I speak and get motivated on stages like this, but I speak all over the world. And one of the things that is going to happen to this country, in my opinion, is you're going to see the biggest inflation ever hit you. You're about 7 years out. America could be removed as the world's reserve currency in 7 years. Janet Yellen, the chairman of the Fed, was removed. She gave up her position on February the 28th. I know her replacement. I think you're going to see some serious inflation. Georgia is in the top 5 best states for everything I'm going to share with you today. And a lot of you in here, you don't understand that. For you Tennessee people in here, you're in the top 6. So you're pretty damn close. But a lot of you don't take advantage of it because you'll spend more time on stupid things that don't matter than you will your own self. Do you know the average married couple in America spends less than 60 seconds a day talking to each other, looking each other in the eyes? And this time of the year, March Madness, the Peckerwoods are watching television 4 hours a day, screaming at the damn television. The next time you got to watch a game, try this one time. Watch the tip-off and find her, put her face in the palm of your hands and tell her 50 things she does that you love about her, appreciate about her, you couldn't make it without her for, and you know what will happen? You'll forget about who scored in the game because within 30 minutes you will have. And I know a lot of you didn't figure that out because you're dead from the neck down, but Walgreens can help you, I say. So watch this. We're going to have some fun. Strap in. Listen carefully. Your time is your most valuable commodity. And all hell is going to break loose. And most of you in here blow me off today. You're just like, who's the next speaker? You know, whatever. You know, it's all good. Who's next? See, if you don't control your investments, you will always work for your money, and your money will never work for you. And there's some good companies in this town. You got Delta, Equifax, you got some good companies. Delta lost my luggage in October the 2nd. I haven't found it yet. So if you work there, you might have them find my luggage. Don't expect luggage to arrive. And they lost it, but that's all good. I still travel with them. But listen carefully. Real estate, the biggest obstacle to get involved in real estate is not having the money. Is that a fair statement? Money? Because if you don't have money, you don't have good credit. Could that be a problem? Watch this. It doesn't matter if you have no job, no income, no credit. If you're a convicted felon, you're on food stamps. You took Uber to get here because your car was repossessed. I can show you how to get money so you can do some real estate. But most of you don't believe that because you don't know anybody that knows how to do that. That's a major problem. And then if you're with Keller Williams or you're a real estate agent, they taught you how to show houses, and I love that. So instead of showing houses, why don't you end up owning property so that you could actually position yourself correctly? Because listen carefully, America's going to double its population in 35 years. The state of Georgia will double its population in less time than that. People are moving here from all over the world. Is that true?
Yes.
Is immigration an issue right now in the public? I'm going to show you how to make money off of immigration and help people. Do you think people want to come to America more than any other country?
Yes.
Every once in a while people tell me how gross America is, and then I always say, let me see your passport. Let me see your stamps. I want to see, is it 52 or 26 pages? And then they look at you, see they don't know because they've never been anywhere. And see, this is the best country that you could ever be in. I travel all over the world. And if you want to burn down the house, if you have mosquitoes, why don't you kill them? Why do you want to burn down the house? You're in a great nation, but you have to take advantage of what is given to you. And a lot of us, we don't take advantage of what is available for us because we don't know how to play. That's an issue. And listen to this. It's all about understanding you're in control of your own destiny. And positioning is everything. And this is kind of wild. All of us came to this nation from other countries unless you're indigenous. And my mom and dad did, many of yours did. Martin Luther King, I don't know why they don't cover this phrase of his more frequently, but Martin Luther King said, we came to this nation in different boats, but we're all in the same ship now. And see, what's awesome is I don't care what people's political views are. I don't care what you do for a living. If you know how to play, you can get your goals to come true and your destiny to come true. That little girl you just saw on stage, I mean, she's an amazing little girl that's got an amazing future because of not what I know, but what I taught her dad and what her dad knows. And now her options are everywhere. And see, if you don't teach your kids and you rely on a teacher to teach your kids, teachers can't teach what they don't know. You need to own your own stuff and learn what you can do so you can change the legacy of your family. Because my dad, his family came to this nation from other nations. My dad graduated from a major university with a master's degree and graduated magna cum laude. I graduated from high school, thank the Lottie. It doesn't really matter how damn smart you are, because I've met a lot of real smart people. They're dumb as a bag of rocks.
That's true.
And you find them at specific locations all over this country. And see, it doesn't matter what you do, it matters what you know, and that is called knowledge. You got to have it. You know, only 3% of Americans will go into their golden years on an equal or greater level of income than they had in their best working years. Why? Because they're not trained properly and they can't get access to money. Here's something you really need to know. If you go to a real business school, a real one, they'll teach you the rule of 78s. That's how banks and mortgage companies front-end load the interest for maximum harm to you when you get a loan. That's called the rule of 78. If you think I'm being mean, why is it that when you get a house and you get a mortgage on it in Georgia, you'll pay for it for 3.5 times over 30 years, and your break-even point isn't 15 years, it's 23 years and 7 months. It's they front-end load the interest. And then when they pay you interest, they call it simple interest. And you calculate that by writing 72 on a sheet of paper, divide any interest you earn into 72, and it'll tell you how many years it takes your money to double one time. Right now, banks are paying about less than 1%. 1 into 72 is 72 years, and now earned interest is taxable, state and federal. You're at 93 years for your money to double, and I think you'll be dead in 93 years. Why in the hell would you do that? See, in the Bible it says, don't cast your pearls before pigs. The best person to manage your money is you. You should always manage your own money, but here's the problem. If you don't have any, what are you going to manage? You got to make some money so you can manage it, so you can get ahead. In fact, in this presentation, I'm going to show you how to double your net worth every 4 years. And a very amazing investment that you can take control of yourself. And after I show you, do you know what's funny about humans? After I show you, half of you go, nah, I don't believe that. That old cracker. Oh, hell no. Oh, hell no. No, do you know what he said about Delta? I didn't like that at all. That just chapped my ass. Whatever. You know, it's all good. I want to show you some things you can do to really position yourself. And we're coming back here, and I'm going to do 2-3 day classes here. And they'll give you the dates later. But here's what's awesome. I want to come back here and show you not why to invest and do things, but how to do it. Because there's a lot of people that tell you why. Why means nothing. You had a why, you wouldn't have come here today. I mean, wasn't parking a pain in the rear? Coming over here, you like the carpet? I mean... and you came anyway. Glad you guys are here. Some of you in here will be friends of mine forever and always, and some of you I'll never see you again. Les is a dear friend of mine. I met him 30 years ago at one of these. And he and I live about 18 miles apart. And I love him. And yet we have everything in common. He has more passion for you than some of you have for yourself, and so do I. And if you don't want it, I can't help you. You know where that's where the word issues come from? Issue, Holmes, issue. It's all about you. And a lot of you ain't got no passion. You got a stick that's very deep and you can't get it out. So listen carefully. Here's the 3 keys to success. Opportunity only shows its face when you have knowledge. And then this is important. You got to take action. Without action, nothing ever happens for you. And then this is important. The reality check of all reality checks is that 1/3 of people will go into their golden years on around $900 a month on social insecurity. And most of those beautiful people are women. And women do not make as much money as men. A lot of companies won't promote them as fast as their male counterparts. And a lot of people are okay with that. And see, I always wanted a little girl, so God gave me 3 little boys, because he messes with you sometimes just to see what makes you tick. And I stayed at the Regency down the street, and there are women everywhere right now cleaning poop stains out of toilets and picking up towels and sheets. And a lot of hotels hire women and don't let them work full time so they don't have to get a 401k and they don't have to get any insurance. Is that true, or did I just make it up? You know that's true. And that ain't right. You think I want somebody to rip off that little 3-year-old girl because God made her a female? That ain't cool. And if you think women are gross, God made man first, then he fixed all the flaws and came up with a better model that lasts longer, looks better, feels better, walks better, smells better, and lives longer. Have a nice day. And if you think that's a joke, go to some disgusting nursing home this afternoon and count the bodies. You'll count a whole lot of old women and something missing. The men, they're all dead. And so be nice. Because listen carefully, it ain't cool to be disrespectful. My mom and dad taught me this. Hollywood hadn't figured this out yet. My mom and dad taught me, treat every woman you come in contact with in business the way you'd want somebody to treat your daughter, your sister, your mother, or your aunt, or somebody related to you, Harvey Weinstein. And once you do that, you'll have it all dialed in and kind of figured out. And this is kind of wild. At age 50, the average U.S. citizen has a net worth of 40 grand and dropping. And that's because we don't know how to position ourselves correctly. And this one's kind of crazy as well. If I shut off a person's income for 4 months, tow trucks look for cars, notices go on doors, and the number one cause of divorce in this country, they'll teach you at the big schools here in Georgia in the psychology department, they'll tell you it is money. There's a lie. That's never been true. Words kill relationships. In the Bible, God says, watch this, watch your tongue, because tongues create words and words kill people. And it's the way it works. And the next time you get pissed at the person you sleep with, instead of calling them bad words that start with a B and you try to convince her you meant the dog, the next time you have to do something like that, watch this, stop it. Just back it up. Words kill. Just do this. Go, babe, I'm really angry right now. Could we have dinner anywhere you want to go tonight? Except Denny's. You're the smartest person I've ever met in my life, and I love you with all my heart. Thanks for all you do for us. And you know what? She'll solve your problem. And words kill people. And some of you are mean to you because you say mean things about you to other people. And you've lost your mojo. Listen carefully. Everybody in here has a DNA different than everybody on the planet. What's the chances of there being another one of you? 1 in 29 trillion. So you're an eagle, but the world treats you like a chicken and you let them. Some of you work in chicken coops. Some of you don't know who you are. Eagles fly high above the sky and know who they are, and they can accomplish great things. But some of you, you're convinced you're a chicken. And I don't want you to be a chicken anymore. I want you to claim who you are. Powerless people become very powerful people once they realize who they are and what they can do. And watch this, money is an obstacle. I'm going to show you how to get some in a minute. And watch this, a third of people have bad credit. I don't care what your credit is. Credit means nothing to me. It means zero to me. It means nothing because a lot of you in here are told you can't have access to it. And I'm going to show you how to get it in a minute. And this is very, very important. We got millions of bankruptcies. They're all over. And that's a major problem as well. I had a woman come up to me recently at one of these and she said, "You're the strangest person I have ever heard speak in my life." I said, "Normal people blow." And then I smiled. And she goes, "You're really strange." I said, "Thank you." And I'm looking at her and she goes, "Everything you told the crowd, does it really work?" I said, "It works if you work. If you don't work, nothing works." I said, "How much did you make last year?" She said, $36,000. I said, "Your life blows. 36 grand living in America?" I said, "Here's how I want to train you. I want to take your annual income and turn it into your monthly income. If you made 36 grand a month, would your life be better or worse?"
Yeah, much better.
She goes, "So much better." I said, "Where's your accent from?" She said, "Bosnia." I said, "Are you a Muslim?" She said, "I am." I said, "Welcome to America." And if you think I'm joking, her name is Medea Kolar. She's averaging a little over 50 grand a month because she laid it down and said, "Teach me." See, if you're not coachable, trainable, teachable because you know everything, game over for you, Holmes. You're never going anywhere because you're already too damn smart. Everything I know somebody taught me. I'm not the smartest person in this room. Of all the speakers, I'm the least of these. Because everything I know somebody taught me and I laid it down. And if you can't lay it down, you're just not the brightest. You got to lay it down. And listen carefully. That sweet woman, this is how my dad taught me. My dad said if you hate people because of their color, their race, their ethnic origin, their political views, their politics, the shape of their eyes, the texture of their hair, the color of their skin, you're not going to have any success in your life. Do you know that's true? And if you hate people, people can feel you from 50 yards away. They know you're a jerk off. And listen carefully. This is huge. You hear this. I don't hate people, but at events like this, there's at least 10 or 20 who hate me, and I'm good. I want you to go home and die so I can buy your house out of probate. I don't hate you, but you hate me. Game on, S.A. It's all good. So catch this. Foreclosure. We got millions of them. And see, could you lose your income or lose your spouse or lose something and go into foreclosure? Yes. Don't judge people. And listen carefully. Some of you RIA members in here and you little real estate agents in here, you probably want to listen carefully to this, SunTrust Banks. You might want to listen to this real carefully, Wells Fargo. Yeah, you might want to hear this real loud and clear. Listen carefully. In 2008, the U.S. economy crashed and burned. Is that true or did I just make it up?
True.
We had all kinds of stuff going on. And then people were telling me, well, hey, the market's back up in GA. It's all back up in Florida. It's all back up in Nevada. It's all back up in Tennessee. Yeah, really. That's BS. Watch this. Go watch the movie The Big Short. If you want to get rich, watch it. Because it's about the meltdown of the economy from 1988 to 2008. Listen carefully to me. Track with me. Some of you are like picking your nose and stuff. Listen to this. This is huge. Watch this. Back then, the movie is about the meltdown, and there's a federal law, and the federal law says that a financial institution has 90 days to show proof of original signatures on original documents before they can do a foreclosure. Guess what? Countrywide Mortgage, Great Western Mortgage, Next Century Mortgage, they all filed bankruptcy, and those documents at safekeeping warehouses got destroyed. They don't have them. And if you're in a title agent business, listen carefully. The break and chain of title, and some of the things I'm looking at are 3 breaks of chain, 5 breaks of chain, 7 breaks of chain of title. And the mortgage servicing company doesn't have the paperwork. They can't prove they got the paperwork because the paperwork doesn't exist. And once you have the knowledge to know how to play, you will find deals that other people can't find. I live in FLA. I'm a scuba diver. And listen carefully, I have a partner that lives in California, which is the most difficult, hardest, least attractive state for doing real estate. And we just picked up a property between Napa Valley and a place called Sacramento. Gave the woman cash for keys, going into foreclosure, November of 2017, cash for keys. She gave us a legal document called an agreement for deed. In Georgia and Tennessee, we call them contract for deeds, which means we own the property, but the property mortgage is in her name. Causes some confusion. We deal with the mortgage servicing company. I'll fast track it. Nobody said, who's your mama, who's your daddy, are you black, white, green, blue, or brown? Did you graduate from UGA? No one gives a crap. Listen carefully. We got the deal done, and the profit off of that house was just under 900 grand. And you know, all of you could have done that deal, but some of you are so busy being busy, you don't have time to get ahead because your busyness is about the busyness of doing transactions when one transformation could change your life forever and always. But see, some of you, you're not ready for success. You're going to find fault with me like you're white or your tie is red and you got checkered white shirt. That's just jacked up. You'll find something that you'll find fault because that's how you're programmed. Isn't that funny? God uses all kinds of weird people that cause good things to happen. And then the freak leaves. Won't be long. But I want to show you some things that all of you can do. Knowledge will set you free. We did another one in Hawaii. We do them all over the country. They're all over Georgia. But you got to know how to find them. And a lot of you will never know because you won't position yourself. And they should add a verse to the Bible. Foreclosure will always be with you. As long as you have one source of income, that could be your next deal. And we spend more money on coffee and soft drinks than we do our after formal education. And then this is kind of crazy. It's about positioning yourself. I want all of you to do the things that you want to do in life. And the question is, how much money do you need to make on a monthly basis so you can go where you want, eat what you want, drive what you want, say what you want, and be what you want? Some of you live here because you have a good job. What if you lose it? Where do you want to live? That's all I wanted to say to you. Where do you want to live? What do you want to do? And if this sounds corny, hey, game over. Wait for 7 years to see what happens. You're going to see some inflation. It is going to take your breath away. And it's about getting it on. Some mistakes that a lot of us make. The biggest number one mistake that all of us make is having one source of income that we have no control over. You need at least 7 independent sources of income, not one. Multiple sources of income so you can do the things you want to do in life. And then a lot of us, we don't protect our assets because we don't know how. We don't position ourselves correctly. And that's unfortunate. Why real estate? I don't love it. I love God, fast cars. I love family. I love that little girl and her sister that's here and my beautiful daughter-in-law. I love them. And all real estate does is allow you to be able to go do the things in life you want to do. Some of you in here should go on a mission trip with me in the future. And some of you never go anywhere. You know, a good night out. Why don't you go with me for like 6 weeks to another country? And the thing I love about Hispanics, if you speak Spanish and you're listening to me right now, the reason I respect you, listen to this. You can't name a Spanish-speaking country right now that doesn't have a major problem with inflation. So when I tell them it's coming here, they get it. Right off the bat, they get it. And I just want to show you some cool stuff that all of you can do. And the nice thing about it is, everywhere I go, real estate exists. Name a country with no real estate in it. When the airplane takes off, it's going to land somewhere on real estate. If it doesn't, you have bigger concerns to be worried about taxes, but I can write it off, and I love that. And the other cool thing is, real estate allows you to make lump sums of cash. And let me show you the beauty of this. Instead of exchanging the days of your life for checks that are too small, here's what's cool about lump sums. On I-95 at exit 23 in Lumberton, North Carolina, there's a real nice guy there that was having some issues. And I made him 5 offers to buy his property. His name is Ted Parker. I bought his property and turned around and sold the property to Outback Steakhouse. And on one time, I made more money than my beautiful father did, working 45 years with a master's degree on one deal. Do I live in North Carolina? Am I moving there? Am I going to move to Lumberton? Hell no. No. If you're from Lumberton, I know why you're not there right now. Show them another corn. Listen carefully. It's just about knowing how to position yourself. And everything I do is replicatable if you want to learn how to do it. And it's positioning. Here's a property that I picked up out of foreclosure. And this property, the bank that foreclosed on the property, the guy in the house that had black mold, termites, carpenter ants, it had bad wiring, bad plumbing, had 28 pages of things that had to be repaired. The company that foreclosed on it has asked me not to talk about them in public, so I won't mention SunTrust Banks. But they foreclosed. I got it out of the loss mitigation department. That's LOSS, loss mitigation. Why do they call it that? Because it's not an asset. It's a loss. And they want to mitigate their loss. It's a negative. It goes down as a negative. It's not a positive on their balance sheet. They got to get rid of it. I'm the only offer submitted on the house. Here's how I killed all the competition. On the contract, I put as is, where is, all cash can close in 14 days. And a lot of you say, well, all cash, how did you do that? I got an asset-based loan. What is that? The money goes to the asset, not you. You can have bad credit, no job, no income. It is an asset-based loan. It's also called bridge financing. You got a year and 3 months to pay it back, and the house has to have equity going in. Equity is the difference between what you contracted for and what it'll be worth after you do the repairs on the property. It's called after repaired value. So watch this. That means you could do enough of these. You could do 5, 6, 7, 8 of them a year if you want to. Are there houses like this around GA? But see, you'll drive by them and go, I don't see them. Like in Lumberton, when I met Ted Parker, there was a sign on the property for 3.5 months. which meant on I-95, 3.5 million cars probably drove by the sign and people didn't know how to play because they're listening to Jay-Z, they're listening to Enrique Iglesias, or they're listening to Rush Limbaugh, or they're just checked out. Busy being busy because they don't know how to play. So in this house, I did none of the work. In 90 days, she looked like this. The backyard looked like this, which I think is nice. And then the cool thing is, the profit in the house, you got three things you can do. The house will pass inspection, you can get a loan and finance it, you can move in it, rent it, or you can flip it. And on a flip, this would make 245 grand. And how many years would I have to work after taxes and life expenses to save $250,000 rounded off? I wonder how many years. See, just a little knowledge can get you where you want to go. You can work hard and die dead broke. You could be the smartest person in the company and get laid off or kicked to the curb. And it's just knowing how to position. And then watch this. You got to have a best offense is a good defense. Ask the Falcons. And then this is important. You have to know, hey, I told you the truth, just chill. And watch this. I train NFL players, National Felony League. Anyway, listen to this. You got to know the tax code. Understanding the tax code will really get you where you want to go. You got to start a business. Got to have one. By the way, if you're single, you need a single member LLC to be owned by you, and you need an additional single member LLC to be owned by your self-directed retirement program. Self-directed means you can put real estate in there. You can do all kinds of things in a self-directed. And those of you in the room that have children that are under 18, you can open up an educational, watch this, Roth IRA for your kids for as little as $50 so they can go to any school in the world they want to go to. It doesn't have to be a formal degree. And by the way, there are 13 degrees you can get right now in this country there's no jobs for. They're just a joke. Your kid will be absolutely on the dark side of the moon. It's not how educated you are, it's how much knowledge you possess. And that's the truth, that's positioning. And then you got to improve your credit over time. That might take 3 years. I don't need to wait to get a deal done with you so that you can position. You got to have a retirement program. And I think one of the best things that's on planet Earth for all of us to do, I want to show you right now how to double your net worth every 4 years. Stay with me. Okay, watch this. Every October, every city and county in the United States will send out property tax bills to the owners of real estate. They give you 5 months to pay your tax bills. The money's used for running the city, all the operations of the city, the police, the firemen, the parks, recreations, leaf removal, garbage, county jail, it's running. Listen carefully. Property taxes supersede first mortgages. They're in front of. They give you 5 months to pay your property taxes. If you don't pay your property taxes in 5 months, the city or county will sell your tax bill to an investor. Depending on the interest usury laws in the state, they'll go anywhere from as low as 14% all the way up to 25% annual rate of return on investment. I think that's absolutely incredible. I love this. And a lot of you don't know how to play. Hedge funds buy these. Why? Because if somebody doesn't pay their tax certificate, the city will sell the tax bill, let the investor make a rate of return. I won't get out of bed for less than 18%. 18 goes into 72 4 times. Your money doubles every 4 years. If you only have $50,000 in a self-directed educational IRA or a self-directed IRA, watch this, 50,000 doubling every 4 years. Watch this, in 4 years, you'll have 100. In 8 years, you'll have 200. In 12 years, you'll have 400. In 16 years, you'll have 800. In 20 years, you'll have 1.6 million. In 28 years, you'll have 6.4 million. In 32 years, you'll have 12.8 million. And a lot of you won't do anything I tell you to do. And you're the same person that will complain and blame everybody but you for why you're not ahead. Hedge funds buy them for capital preservation, safety of investment, outrageous rates of return. Government mandated, the city or county will collect the money for you, not charge you anything, and then give you a check. And a lot of you just won't do it. It just cracks me up. I have a friend that lives in Columbus, Georgia. He bought a property up around Lawrenceville in the Conyers area, at a tax deed sale. There were 9 people at the sale. The house is worth $520 grand. They got the property for, listen to this, $22,500.
Wow.
And see, why were there only 9 people there? Because everybody's busy being busy about the busyness of being busy about being busy. But once you know how to play, it's game on. You can do things you don't think you can do. And I love that. That's positioning. And then this is kind of cool. I love it. Tax liens and tax deeds. My son that lives here in Atlanta with his awesome family just put this together for me. This is a couple of the deals that he picked up on tax liens. On 14 months, he had this one and made 21%. I love this. And you just stack some cash and cities collect the money for you and send it to you. And in the class we're going to have here, we're going to show you how to do this on an integral basis so you can really, really, really get ahead and do things you don't think you can do. I mentioned this a while ago, why real estate. The population of America is going to double in 35 years. They're moving here, they're coming here. The roads right now are already grossly inadequate. Alpharetta is going crazy, Athens going crazy, Conyers, the whole place is going nuts. And it's not going to slow down anytime in the next 10 to 20 years. So why don't you take advantage of it? Why don't you get it on? And you don't have to do rental houses. If you want to do rental houses, we'll show you how to do that. But why not do some more sophisticated real estate? So like one property could change your life. Have you ever heard of Bally's 24-hour gym? It used to be, like LA Fitness is a new one now. It was Bally's. They filed bankruptcy. They closed all their stores, went into foreclosure. One of my friends picked up a Bally's 24-hour gym, converted it to climate-controlled storage, got it for what a nice house would cost you in Buckhead, got the property, and it brings in $151,000 a month, not a year, a month, not a year, a month, not a year. But see, some of you go, well, I can't do that. Really, who said so? If I can show you how to get money and show you how to put it together, why couldn't you do it? Checkmate. All of you can do what you want to do once you have knowledge. And everything I do is replicatable. Last year, one of my favorite artists died. His name was Prince. It was really weird. He was a vegetarian. He wouldn't eat meat, but he did some drugs. It's kind of weird. Like, meat's bad, but I'm having a hard time figuring this out. He died worth $300 million, and because he didn't do an estate plan, he goes to probate. Probate is run by lawyers that don't advertise. Why? Their clients are all dead. Do you ever see an ad? Have you died recently? Call me as soon as you can. I'm there for you, babe. No. So watch this. Because he didn't do an estate plan, this is sick. The feds are going to get about $140 million, and the state he died in is going to get about $12 million. And because he didn't say who's getting what, when, why, or how, the problem with that is that now the lawyers are going to get $110 million, and his family's not going to have much left over. That is sad. And then you see all these ads. Have you been hurt? Call us, Beavis and Butthead. John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan is running ads all over, right? If you've been hurt, call me. I'm there for you. And listen to this. We want to show you how to protect your assets while you're alive, and if anything should happen to you, you pass your wealth to your family in 48 hours, and you're moving down the highway. I love that. And catch this. There's a lot of woods in Georgia. There's a lot of woods and a lot of country roads and SR roads. One of my students picked up 1,250 acres of heavily wooded land. I said, change the zoning from agricultural to wildlife game preserve. Georgia Pacific and Weyerhaeuser and a couple other companies gave him a quote of what they would pay to cut 60% of the trees they cut, paid for